I'm Lou.
Leon Kennedy. You are?
And I'm Jed.
I'm Steve Harrington.
Welcome to the Two Pump Boys podcast.
Welcome. 2 pumps is all it takes.
Pump is all it takes, and we've been two pumping ever since.
Still 2 pumping to this day.
It's the Two Pump Boys, darling.
Hello, I'm gay.
And I'm Astarian. We did some TikToks and some stuff today.
Hours of TikToks today.
There's a lot of content.
My back hurts from carrying this team.
Mine hurts from this chess piece. And being carried, because he throws me over his shoulder like I'm nothing.
My 8 strength. And let's go.
I mean, I think I'm less than that. So. Sleight of hand is really up there, but not my strength. So yeah, we're dressed up for this episode, which is fabulous. I have a little bit of a lisp because I currently have fake teeth in.
I forgot.
So I'm going to try and enunciate my words, but at the end of certain things, it's a little bit like this.
I have just grown used to you talking like this for the past few hours that I no longer notice the lisp.
Yet, anyone who's listening to this right now will be like, wow,
that sure
Lou
is a
was
lisp.
replaced by somebody else.
By me when I was a child and couldn't say L's.
I can say like a lot of puss. I can definitely say my L's.
Did you say lick a lot of puss? Is that what you said? There will be none of that.
It's fine.
There will be none of that this week.
So, this week we actually wanted to talk a little bit about Ryan Murphy. Yeah. And, I mean, we could go on and on and on this episode.
There's a lot of words. It kind of started out with, actually we had no idea what we were talking about this week. And I said, we need to just do it. Plus we look great right now. And so I laid on the floor and dissociated, and then Kit was like, I literally sent you an idea. It was American Horror Story. And then we started going over how many of them we hadn't watched.
And have watched, and what our favorites were.
Yeah. And then I was like, yo, it's Ryan Murphy. He also did Ratched, which we love. And then
we started looking at the discography, filmography, and we realized
everything he'd done.
Mr. Harrigan's Phone. We've got like Glee,
Scream Queens.
Oh my gosh, he's got so many.
I freaking love.
I didn't realize he did Nip Tuck too. Which is
and I never watched Nip Tuck.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of have the list here, mainly because we're going to pick up a couple things that we really want to talk about. But then also, it's kind of going through, like, all the things. The Dahmer story.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Christina Ricci and, what was her name? Oh my gosh. Yes.
With Misha, and they did... Oh, shit. Carla.
It's Charlene Theron. That's who it was. So Charlene Theron, Christina Ricci. Yes, it's called Monster, and that's actually one we'll talk about. And it's like Eileen Wuornos. And she was a female
I remember now.
serial killer.
What was I thinking of? The one that has Misha Collins as... And then it's got the chick who plays Donna as Carla Homolka.
That's right.
I think it's just called Carla. Now that I'm thinking of it like an idiot. But anyway.
Yes. So not to be confused with that monster. Yes. It's actually Monster, the Dahmer story. Which last year was in... Was it last year? I think it was last year, yeah. And it was like, everyone watched it.
Evans? No. Oh my God. Why? Please help us. You know.
Evan
Peters. Oh my God. Luke Evans is totally not even relatively the same person.
I mean, Evans.
Holy fuck.
So you're close.
Listen.
I'm going to pull this down.
Evan Peters. I know. Listen, I'm tired of wearing this lace front.
We're doing okay. But it's been 4 hours of TikToking and making content, and then we were like, we should probably do the podcast today. Yeah. And so we've stuck with it, but we've not eaten. We're dehydrated. I'm 200 years old. This one's obsessed with a fucking, goddess, and she doesn't want anything to do with him. So
slave my life.
We're doing everything we can. We're doing okay. So yeah, we decided to go through the list and really talk about the things that we loved the best.
Yeah.
And I will say that I think obviously American Horror Story is probably one that people know.
It's the longest running.
It's still going.
Sure. I think. I mean, there's some other ones that he's done. He did like 911 Lone Star and Politicians. I don't watch those, but
we're going to talk about our favorite American Horror Story because there's several out there, and we did kind of discuss it. My favorite is Asylum. It's like the top It was so well done. It was so horrifying. Murder House.
Murder House.
Monster House. Murder House I really liked, but Evan Peters looks like he's getting tormented as an actor, and I don't really like that.
Yeah.
Like, he was put out of his comfort zone with that, and he did a fabulous job, and he's done really well with going down the line of psychopaths.
Oh, in Monster, not Mystery House. Mystery House is the first series.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one. It's
Oh.
Murder House.
Yeah.
And he's in that latex suit,
Oh,
and he's like,
that's right. He does wear that. Zachary Quinto wears that too, though.
Yeah, it's just all...
It was weird.
It was the
That
first one
really
that he
weird.
did, and he said that it really, like,
young.
messed with his mind because of how, you know, terrifying and things and torture-y he had to be, and, like... So, I personally really like Asylum the best.
Asylum was, I think, also my favorite, but to get difference of opinions, I'll say I also really enjoyed Freak Show. But really, I'm not sure if I enjoyed all. I liked the dandy guy.
Oh, yes.
Who, he was foul. I loved him. But I also, the thing, whenever I think of American Horror Story, other than like Asylum, the thing that sticks in my head is literally Evan Peters as the like guy with the weird hands, right? Like the crab hands.
Yes.
Literally finger banging all those wives at the Tupperware party. That's like all I can think of. I'm like, yes, American Horror Story.
I'm so sorry, Evan Peters. You're really good at acting, and I'm really sorry these are the things you're really good at.
I'm really sorry that now when I think, because originally for a long time, I think of him in The Office. Because that was when he was very young, one of his first roles. He was so cute. It's really innocent, sweet, and funny. But then he started doing these really disturbing roles that he's really good at.
Yes.
And so now finger banging the Tupperware ladies is right up there.
I don't know why, but like he is just so good at being this psychopath. And so, you know, in Asylum I really like it because it's like he's in there and he like, you think we're trying to help, and then he has these little nasty moments that you're like, whoa.
And his name
something's not right.
from Asylum is how we got Kit's name.
That's right. Weird.
Because we were like, damn, we really like Asylum, and Kit was one of the best characters in that. And then when Kit was trying to choose a name, we were like, hey.
Kit and Caboodle. You're the
we
whole
were like,
Kit and
it's
Caboodle.
so cute. And then we're like, Asylum.
It's Asylum, which is a little bit psychotic. But yeah, I really like that one because it's really dark. It touches on like demonic presences, and you know, it talks about like the church and nuns.
That
and,
interview with Sarah Paulson and Zachary Quinto, because they are both gay.
They are.
And talking about the gay conversion scene and how they had to have so much trust in each other and how difficult that was, because they were both gay, he's being like, I mean, he's bloody face, which is already fucked up, but like trying to convert her character, Lana, to be straight. And I watched that interview and I was like, I don't know.
How'd you not let that get to your head?
I don't think I couldn't do it.
But that's the thing, is these are incredible actors that get chosen for these roles, and like they're fabulous. And on the subject of Sarah Paulson, another thing that Ryan Murphy did that includes Sarah Paulson is Ratched.
Oh my god.
And we stand for Ratched.
I rewatched it not long ago. Sorry, I was just like gazing off into the distance thinking about how perfect Sarah Paulson is.
I just thought you were being Gail, and you just...
No, I was envisioning my Mistra, which might be Sarah Paulson.
I mean...
She is...
Boo is perfect.
Her as Ratched is... the outfits, and Ryan Murphy is so stylized, and all of the use of like color and everything in Ratched, really, I'm like, I want to go watch it.
Yeah, and I mean, that was in 2020, and the reason why it's still going is because there's a second
season
that's coming out soon, which we, again, love. But why I really liked Ratched so much, and I mean, I think it's based on a true story of a nurse that was very similar to that. It's
from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes, that's right.
It's based off the character Nurse Ratched in To Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah.
That's right. And why I really like it is because not only is it like this female who's obviously not well is able to pass as a nurse all the way up into being like the head nurse in this hospital, this, you know, oh my gosh. And she's just so terrifying.
She is like power embodied. And also she taught me how to lobotomize somebody with an ice pick. And I think that is invaluable information.
Live, laugh, lobotomy. Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
I'm still learning to be able to help Jed with this. But, you know, we're in the early stages of development. And I like it because it's like, I don't know, it's just so reminiscent of, you know, other things where this, like, Misery, for instance. I like it so much because it reminds me a bit of Misery, and how you have Kathy Bates, who is obsessed with this writer,
phenomenal.
but there's like an obsession there to be really good at this thing, and like for
She
her
was a very good nurse.
she was. And so both of them were very good, but also their end goals were not they weren't sweet.
Methods. No, they put on that like kind of sweet
Yeah.
demeanor. But another part I liked about Ratched was her in juxtaposition with I can't remember his name now, but the doctor of the
that's right.
hospital. You're looking at all the people kind of surrounding her, and you're like, she's not actually the worst one, and what she's doing seems reasonable. Not to mention her adorable romance with the pants-wearing lesbian politician.
Yeah, politician. Yeah, she
who
was
was
awesome.
phenomenal.
And I mean, like, that's the thing, is Ryan Murphy does not shy away from gay.
No.
Like, he includes it, he makes it, like, you know, it's not just like, oh, there's this token gay person.
yeah.
It's like, or it's not this thing where it's like the only thing. It just is, it naturally
is.
occurs. It's just a thing that occurs.
The way it should be.
And he's just so good at it.
So good.
And it feels like there's representation all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ratched was a really good, you know, kind of example of that, because you have somebody like Sarah Paulson, but also so many other actors and actresses that are just so good that it's like top notch. I feel like every episode I got whiplash from like what was happening.
I was thinking, what's I can't remember, Jessica Lange in American Horror Story, while we're on the
Oh my
topic of
gosh.
powerful, amazing women.
Oh man.
Jessica Lange is literally a goddess.
Yes.
And I was so sad when she left American Horror Story, because her everything that she has ever touched.
Yep. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
I think I just like Ryan Murphy's works because there's so many amazing women, and I just am fucking rock hard
Absolutely.
for that shit.
Shit to the table. I'm like, we're going down.
Yeah.
And I mean, with Evan Peters, you can tell in like other episodes and stuff that he's, you know, invited to be a part of.
Yeah.
One being, you know, Hotel with American Horror Story.
Yeah.
He's in there, and he's actually like a famous serial killer,
That's
and
right.
everybody in Hotel is dead. And so he like
Gaga.
hosts these. Yeah, exactly. And Gaga,
Oh
I
my
love
gosh,
you.
that's right. He's like, oh my god, it's all coming back to me now.
I know. Woo woo. I really liked Hotel. I just found it was a bit of a slow burn.
Yeah.
And I think I came to expect more, especially from Asylum. And then Coven, although beautifully done, I thought there was amazing actors and actresses. It also was a slow burn.
The
And I
first
was
half, amazing. The
Yes.
first half of Coven, I was like, whoa, yeah, like I'm in it. That was like the peak of like doing the witchy stuff and like
exactly.
really embracing that. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is it. It was so well done. The chick who plays the like Stevie Nicks type character, that
Yes.
I love her in every season that I've watched of AHS.
Stevie Nicks played a part in that. She showed up.
She did. That's right. There's so many cool cameos, but
Totally.
then kind of halfway through, it lost its momentum, and I was left feeling disappointed.
Same.
There's a few other seasons. I watched 1984. You haven't watched that one, or you
Not
watched a
yet,
little
and
bit
it's
of it?
because you were like, meh. And I was like, okay, well, I want to watch Roanoke first. And I've watched a couple episodes of that.
Roanoke.
I like it.
Actually, really liked.
Yeah, and I'm in it. I just haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
Because then Baldur's Gate
Listen, so
came
many
out.
things in the last few years. So much has come out that
Yeah.
you kind of abandon things you don't even realize you've abandoned them. Like,
Well, and I mean, to be honest, I mean, we've moved on to like a lot of horror, retro. You became a Capcom creator, so we've been doing other
been busy.
things. Obviously, we moved houses. Like, so much stuff happens, and so, you know, yeah, we kind of move on from things. It's definitely on my list of things I still want to watch is Roanoke, but I've again like moved on, and I mean, I didn't realize that Ryan Murphy took Evan Peters and then made him Dahmer.
which is, it's both a cinematic masterpiece and also the most vile, horrible thing on the face of this planet.
I thought, so here's the thing. Every serial killer that's out there, every single one, there's multiple makes of it. Whether it's a TV
tons,
show,
so
whether it's a
many,
movie, it doesn't matter. There's always different versions out there. So when I heard that Dahmer was going to be made, I'm just like, okay.
We've seen it.
We
100
know
times.
Dahmer. Not personally, but, you know, we know Dahmer, and we know the story, we know it.
Other things that have come out, like the, I can't remember the title of it, the one with Zac Efron playing Bundy.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was...
Which was okay. It was like something and...
Bundy. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
but-
it wasn't called Bundy, it was three
No,
words. to
but it
describe
was...
It was okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is it was good.
It also glorified him a bit.
But it made him seem like a bit of a hero.
And Zac Efron
what
is
a nice
hot.
guy, and except for he got a lot of flack from that, and it was because he had reconstructed facial surgery because
he busted his jaw.
He fucking fell and on his own pond in his home. He smoked his face, dislocated and broke and shattered his jaw.
Yeah.
He didn't know if he was going to be able to speak again or eat again. Like, you know, and so people were giving him flack, thinking that, of course, like a lot of Hollywood people do, that they went and got, you know,
he was
surgery done because of how perfect he is, and people thought he wanted to look young again, and I'm like, no.
He busted his jaw.
Yeah.
Like,
so he actually took time and went and did that Netflix special about going to other places, and I'm trying to think of what it is.
Yeah, where he's going around the world and trying.
It's fabulous.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
If you've ever not watched it, search it. It's really good. But I really liked how Zac Efron just like took himself out of Hollywood and he just went, because this all turned very weird. But he did the Bundy movie, and I found that although a lot of the stories were obviously accurate to what they were saying, you know, he trained himself to jump off the top of his bunk so that he could jump out of the courthouse where he was.
But picking an actor, like, I understand that Bundy was apparently, I don't find him attractive at all.
But apparently a lot of, I mean, that was back
Womanizer,
in the
right?
70s, so like.
Zac was almost too good looking, and that's not his fault. Like, good for you, Zac Efron.
That was the biggest problem with Bundy, though, is he was a normal guy, good looking, and a lot of the women back then, especially in the 70s, you know, 80s, that sort of thing, really found him attractive. He spoke well. He was articulate.
Yeah,
he wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna get you. It was like so much trust in a person who's got a girlfriend at home.
Yeah,
you know?
He
like,
was very unnassuming. That's what made him successful.
Which is probably why they picked somebody like Zac Efron, who's a very good-looking guy and very unassuming. If I saw Zac Efron on the street, I'd be like, "Hey,
oh man, I'd help him with anything."
Right? Like, I wouldn't think, oh, that guy.
No,
right?
That's the problem. Like, I mean, we could get into that, but we won't. But with
Dahmer,
Evan Peters, they made him so uncomfortable. And he went to dark places playing that role.
Like, he had multiple times when, you know, nominated and things like that, and he gave speeches, he said, like, if it wasn't for the support of the cast, the crew, and a therapist that worked with him, including the director and everything, like Ryan Murphy, he said he didn't think he'd make it out of it because it was so dark. And he said, I knew the stories, like, I knew... You know,
we all
this
know
guy
the stories.
Went to gay clubs, picked up men, took him back to his shitty apartment, you know, usually would do what he needed to do, murder the shit out of them and put them in steel drums. It was horrible. And obviously, and then the neighbors are like, yo, your place stinks. Yeah. And then he was luring someone, people caught him, cops did nothing. Like, you know,
was so horrible. All of it was, it's just an absolute tragedy.
We knew the stories. Evan Peters knew the stories, but he had to get into the point of, you know, that point of being, and oh my god, you can see him, he has dead eyes.
He does, and it, like, you have to dissociate to be able to play somebody like that effectively. And also how real it is. Like, at the end of the day, you can play a serial killer in a horror movie. We'll say you play Jason. Sure. He's wearing a mask, not a great example. You play Jason. He's not a real person, supernatural. He does all these things. Like, these aren't plots written by, you know, famous writers.
No,
This isn't Wes Craven or John Carpenter's creation. This is something that happened to real people. And there are people still suffering for it to this day.
There
That's
are still
fucked.
victims that are out there that their family had, you know, finally been like, that's what happened to my, you know, my kid. And
logistics of capitalizing off of those stories.
Yes. Which is another part of the problem that I have. Although I really enjoy, you know, certain podcasts and things like that. Like, I do like Bailey Sarian, how she picks those real serial killers. And they're, like, mostly unknown. Because she's like, by the way, in Kentucky, there was this thing that happened. And I'm like, okay, great. Because I think the victims, and she takes it from the victim's point of view, and actually talks about it more about the family and how it affected them. Which I think is always the best thing. That's why I didn't like Bundy. It felt like we were seeing it from his point of view, and I don't want to ever see anything from, you know, the killer's perspective.
I don't need to know.
So, although we saw how Dahmer lived and things like that, it was very he didn't talk a lot. He was a very quiet guy. So Evan Peters played this part where you can see the anger, you can see he's alone and whatever, and then he brings in the guys, and those victims say a lot.
They do.
And we learn about them.
Roles.
We learn about their family. Like, Dahmer wasn't a part of being in the house family, and yet we saw that with a couple of the victims being with their family and what that looked like. And I thought that was brilliantly done by Ryan Murphy, is that we didn't just watch this guy do his thing and watching it from his perspective, because that's almost like guttural. Like, I don't want to see that.
I mean, any media making money off of these, it's totally glorifying. Like, the true crime industry is pretty rough, but one thing, and this isn't Evan Peters' fault, I don't even think this is, Ryan Murphy's fault, the women and probably men that watched Dahmer and were like, oh my god, Evan Peters is so fucking hot as Dahmer, and we're like sexualizing him and making really unsavory jokes. I was like, yo, you people are scarier right now. Like, don't. Like, you want to be in love with a serial killer, can I introduce you to Ghostface?
I mean, that's
Billy Loomis, like, who is Skeet Ulrich,
let's go.
Like, give us some fictional people that haven't actually hurt anyone, that are created by creative type people.
You will never see us dressed up as characters that were real serial killers.
Never.
You won't see me dressing up as none of that, because to me, I have so many other characters that are not real that I could dress up as.
And it's not it's like, dressing up as an indigenous person. It is not a costume.
No. That shit in a
that
costume.
is not
That's a real
fun
person
for anybody. Be fucking Shrek or something for Halloween. Like, I don't know what to fucking tell
listen,
you.
You can be a real person.
Yeah.
There's like I've seen those people that do Picasso and they like make themselves the
Which is
painting,
really
and I'm
cool.
like, wow, that's really artsy and super awesome.
Or people will go as like Cher or something. But
absolutely.
those are all like good natured
icons.
Yeah.
Dahmer is not an icon. No. Ted Bundy. We're not icons, darling.
No.
Don't do that. If you want to dress up as somebody and they're real, find somebody that's a hero that didn't murder so many
comical,
people.
Like somebody who's funny, like there's just so many other options.
Anyway.
So Monster is a bit polarizing.
It is. It was rough to watch. It was very well done, but it was hard to watch because you got to see the pain of the families, of the victims, of the cops blundering mistakes.
It was the cops that really set me off. That part was so rough for me.
Because they called it in. That neighbor
and they did
not give up, though. And kudos to her.
Them, yeah.
And I loved how they showed her. They showed her as somebody who just was like, this isn't right.
She was a hero.
And so, I love that.
She
did fabulous. And you know what? Kudos to her for sticking around, because
oh my God,
if she would have just moved, I don't know.
Well, and like I've been listening to this other podcast that was talking about the guy who killed. Fuck. My brain is suddenly empty. Oh my God, yeah.
Jed is also just recovering from vertigo.
I've been having vertigo all week. It was a how many? What was it called?
Oh, it's called BPPV. So it's basically you have your little crystals that are inside your ears that get a little bit fucky. They get moved around, and then they're to the point where they're, even if it's like 0.5 millimeter, your brain thinks it's fucking drowning.
Oh my God.
So it's like, I'd
get up
to see,
and like the whole world would just swim. I'd like look to my left, the world would swim. I was fucked up for a couple days. Lou came and broke my neck.
One of the things I was going to say is, if you're at home and you have friends that are willing to do this for you, make sure you don't wait 2 days before you tell them, hey, I'm having a bad time.
I can't walk very far because I'll fall down.
By the way, I can't do the stairs because I'm worried I'll die.
I live in a 3-story townhouse.
Alone. So, yes, of course, I come 2 days later because we're like, okay, we need to hang out. We have these things that we're planning.
Yeah.
So we show up and Jed's like,
hello, I've got vertigo.
And I'm like, okay. And Jed goes to get up and promptly is like, can't. And I'm like, okay, wait, like I can help with this because I've done that before. And so did it twice yesterday, and already today we were able to do tons of
I can
TikToks.
do this. If I shake my head like I'm at a rock concert, though, things get a bit weird.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. But before I leave, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
And there's a very clear way to fix this. And you do not have to spend a lot of money going to like physiotherapy and stuff. If you have a good friend that has good hands, you know, they can follow
have the
some
magic
instructions.
touch.
I'm also just really good with my hands, so. But, yeah.
This was not the point. There was this gay guy who killed a famous fashion designer. Yes. And anyway, the cops kept writing all this shit off because it's a gay thing.
Yeah.
It's just a gay thing. So they just like wrote off lots of stuff.
That's still a thing.
It's still a thing. It's just a gay thing. Yeah, well, there's what?
Hello,
what?
I'm gay.
They like don't want to see fucking homosexual people being homosexual, so they're just like, we'll just ignore that crime. It's fine.
Ryan Murphy was like, no. I need to show how he literally went into places where people were at their most vulnerable, and he acted like an innocent, no problem, I'll take good care of you type of person, and then murdered them.
Horribly.
So,
it was a
Evan
thing.
Peters did an incredible job.
Very good job.
But he had to stop acting for a little bit while he just kind of dealt with that.
Yeah,
trauma.
man, I don't know if I would continue after. That's a lot. That's a lot to put your mind in the same place that someone like that is.
And body, because he worked out, because, you know, that was something Dahmer did, is
yeah,
that he was fit.
Pretty ripped.
He had to lift them. He had to stay fit so that he could catch his victims. And
the worst part about watching this was you knew how it ended.
That's
From the moment it started, and yet you'd meet the victims and you were rooting for them. You were like, maybe this
one got away. I don't know all the victims. Maybe this one.
I think one got away. There was the one that did get away.
Yeah.
But the other ones, like the one that he was actually kind of boyfriends with. And you're
the
like,
underage
maybe
kid?
No, I think he was his age.
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe this time. But you know it's not, because this guy's a piece of shit. This isn't fiction.
This isn't going to end well.
Yeah.
So yeah, serial killers, although I appreciate seeing it from a different angle, especially from the victim's point of view, I'm always down to watch that, mainly because hopefully some of that money goes back to the victims because they've given their story, so they got paid for that. Because if they're still suffering and somebody's just making money off that suffering, although I'm a Starian and I really enjoy people suffering on my behalf, in real life, I don't want to have people that are already suffering suffer more by Hollywood. So
yeah, that was rough. It was very well done, but it was rough. It wasn't like when you sit down to watch his other series.
Like The Watcher.
Oh, The Watcher fucked me up.
Well, The Watcher, I had no fucking clue what was happening 99% of the time.
I still don't know.
No.
It was never answered.
No.
We never knew. That's why I was so... I was messaging you guys. I was like, this is bullshit.
Because we finished it. So Kit and I finished it.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, listen. And like I said in other podcasts, when we like something, the last thing I do is go, Jen, oh my god, you're gonna watch it. Bro, it's the best fucking thing in the world. You have to watch it. I don't do that because I know Jen will be like, well, then I'm not.
Immediately, if you tell me to do something, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
So instead, I say, oh my gosh, we're watching The Watcher. I have no fucking idea what's happening, but it ain't bad. Should watch if able.
And then I just I won't touch it for a while. And then one day I'll wake up and be like, I'm going to watch this show that someone told me about. And then I never stop.
And then it's like, oh shit, yeah, here we go. And so The Watcher, it's just basically like neighbors that move into this new home. And, you know, they have kids and whatever. And, you know, the neighbors are really fucking weird.
Really fucking weird.
And I immediately was like, yeah, they're in a cult. They're in a cult because they're all very similar with their like
homeowners associations, man. Fuck me.
Like this one, you know, with
oh my god,
Toothless Ed that lives next door.
One time I got a letter because I had some empty flower pots on my deck. This is before I met you guys, just a little bit before. I had empty flower pots on my deck because it was kind of the transition from summer to now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't give a shit. And they were like, you can't have empty flower pots on your deck.
Can you imagine on your deck?
I was
and
like,
it's not like you have fucking flower pots everywhere and they're
no,
broken and
like
shattered.
4 or 5 and they're little, like, whatever.
Terracotta.
And so, yeah, they're terracotta. Yeah. So I had this letter and I went absolutely fucking postal. There's a video. It will come up in my Facebook memories one day and I'll reshare it. But there's a video of me fucking losing it. And I just went around my house and I grabbed all my plastic dinosaurs, any sort of plastic figure that could withstand, and I just shoved them in the pots. I fucking left it. I was like, pots aren't empty now, are they, bitch?
Oh my god.
And I did not get another letter.
Fight the man. You know what I'm saying? Fight the man.
Yeah. Anyway.
Another thing that I really enjoyed, especially with your homeowners association, because this is very similar to that, The Watcher, is that they're clearly a part of something, and you're on the outside. So these new neighbors, like these new people that we follow, in this beautiful home.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
They're on the outside of a story that's clearly going on, and they start receiving letters. Well, Jed kind of received something like that, saying that their dog was leaving shit outside. And they'd appreciate if the dog would, stop shitting and if you could clean it up. And then Jed had to go tell people, I'm sorry, but my dog is dead.
No, it was barking.
Oh,
it was
barking.
Yeah,
barking.
Neighbors fucking Toothless Ed comes over and he's like, we're getting complaints that your dog's barking. And I had a dog. She was a German Shepherd Cross. Her name was Jill. But she had passed probably, it was like 6 or 7 months previous. Yeah. And he's like, we've been getting complaints the dog's been barking. And so I clarified. I was like recently? Or are we talking like over the last year, you know? And he's like, no, recently, like last couple of days. And I was like, my dog is dead. And he didn't believe me. And he started to argue. And I got really heated. So I closed the door in his face. And then I said, no, I'm not done. So I took my dog's ashes, which I had, and I went to his place. And I fucking lost my mind.
I am still just so impressed.
Shook my dog's ashes at him. No. My fucking dog is dead.
Yes, that's what you do. So kind of similarly in The Watcher, obviously they start receiving these letters, and they're pretty sure it's coming like from the neighbors.
Yeah.
So they're trying to confront them and be like, "Did you send these letters?"
And they're being nice at first.
And the neighbors are like, "No, what are you talking about?" And they're kind of rude about it, like, "Why are you on my porch?" And it kind of goes on like that they just get put onto the outside, and then of course
shit happens.
Yeah, there's weird sounds in the attic, and paranormal it seems. And it's like everybody, and then it kind of switches where you don't think they're in a cult. You just think that everybody knows something that these people don't.
Yeah.
And that they're holding this town secret, this street secret, I guess, because that's all really you see. And it kind of ends up being that way. They are holding on to secrets, and it ends up being a little bit culty, so that also kind of comes back around.
Jennifer Coolidge that's in it? She's a realtor, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's fantastic as
and
a
I
realtor
love that because she was supposed to be her friend.
Yeah.
She helped him buy the house.
That's right.
And...
It's all coming back to me now again. My brain is reeling.
But that was also Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, that was a really good one, actually.
Worth it to see.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on, really, ever, at any point.
It was so bizarre.
It's based on a true story, too.
Yes, it is.
I still don't know. No one knows. We don't know.
Do you know?
If you know, send us a link.
Do you know what we don't know? Then tell us.
I also want to touch briefly on Glee, because I watched that documentary. Did you watch that documentary?
Yes. Whoa. Okay, I was an avid Glee fan, I will say.
I was a Gleek.
I don't like that. I never liked that because when you gleek, it's when you spit out of your mouth.
I can't do that. I mean, I could spit at you right now, but I can't do it when I'm in the hen.
I can spit venom. Venom. But yeah, Glee, I was a Gleek. Oh, I fucking hate that. But I was. And every season. The actors were fabulous.
Yeah.
Actresses, actors, the teachers, everybody that was in there. That was all really cool. The singing was really cool.
Mashups.
Yes.
I mean,
we always stayed
there.
on trends.
Yeah.
Like they were on it. And then people started dying.
And getting hurt and being pedophiles and it just like the wheels fucking came off. But then you look back at the whole series and Leah Michele is a total raging fucking see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
The worst. Treated people like shit.
Like dog shit. I was so shooketh. And I watched that documentary and it was like, what?
And like Corey Monteith, he was from here.
Oh boy.
He was from Calgary or Edmonton.
Yeah, he was from Alberta.
Yeah, and like when he died, that was like, that's kind of when I stopped watching.
Yeah, that was about the same time for me because I was like, oh man, that was the overdose, right?
Yeah, the overdose.
Yes, and he was dating the actual actress. Yeah, Leah Michele.
It's all very fucked up. And like, this is a horror retro podcast. I'm telling you right now, Glee is a horror. What happened on that show?
It's truly terrifying.
Horrible.
If you were ever kind of like in it where you liked Glee and you were thinking it was all sunshine and roses, actually watch the documentary, learn about it, then rewatch it.
Got chills. Yeah. I'm also freezing cold, but
it's a little chilly down here.
And all I'm wearing is this robe.
It's true.
That's it. Just like,
Me too. All I'm wearing is...
stop, put your nipples away. Lou has exposed her nipples on the podcast, and if you want to see, you have to go to our YouTube.
It's true. Would you like to see my whole chest, darling? It goes all the way down.
Look at that. When did you get that
into
6-pack? 8-pack? How many packs is that?
Touch it.
It
You can
got
make sound.
stuck in there.
Oh, God.
However, this is all real, baby. Concave chest.
The fuck concave chest. Jesus H. Christ. This is a horror podcast, and what you're watching is truly terrifying.
Truly terrifying.
But yeah, so Ryan Murphy really kind of took me for a ride. I didn't realize he did half of the things that he did. That was really impressive.
Well, it was fucking Scream Queens. We talked about Scream Queens.
Oh yeah, Scream
Jamie Lee Curtis in a show called Scream Queens. Can we just acknowledge that for a moment and how brilliant that was? Because let me tell you, Chad,
yes,
amazing.
Absolutely.
He was the worst fucking character. He was horrible.
But it was
so funny. If you have
funny.
not watched Scream Queens,
go
please,
watch it.
Please watch it. It never finished. It didn't get renewed, but it had 2 seasons, I think.
2015, 2016.
Kind of a Scream vibe, a little bit.
Yes.
Scream, but like also scary movie.
Yeah, it was a bit slashery,
And it
a
had
bit.
Emma Roberts in it, and she plays, of course, a psychotic bitch.
Yes. But she does such a good job.
She does such a good job. Ariana Grande was in it.
And she was so cute.
She was.
Oh, listen, it's a star-studded cast. They do a really, really good job. It was fabulous. We really enjoyed it.
So enjoyable. Like, I was laughing. I also had no idea really what was going on. Oh, one of the Jonas Brothers was in it. He was gay too.
Hello, I'm gay.
Hello, I'm gay.
Yeah, so Scream Queens, make sure you go and watch that.
Yeah.
And then the last one we'll talk about is also one that's fairly new.
It's a movie.
It's a movie, and it's Mr. Harrigan's Phone, and that's with
that kid who plays Bill Denborough.
Bill Denborough and It.
And he was also in Knives Out.
And Knives Out, which was surprising. Yes, so the child actor.
Yeah, it came from the collection If It Bleeds. If you're looking to actually read Mr. Harrigan's Phone, which I highly recommend because I quite enjoyed it.
It's good.
In If It Bleeds, which is an anthology of short stories.
King.
Stephen King, yeah, shocker.
It was very good.
Yes.
They're short stories, yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where if you're not like a huge reader like Gail is, you can definitely get that book because it's quite small and
Not
you
all
can
of
just
us can read.
me. I can't read at all.
Yeah, you can't read.
No, I can't even see my reflection right now. So here we are, just hoping I look good. Do I look good? Tell me I look good. I'm such a sucker for like shallow praise.
Yeah, you look great.
I know I do. And so, yeah, I mean, Mr. Harrigan's Phone was really cool. I didn't know what to expect from it because, of course, in the book, you never know what they're going to adapt into a movie. And the main elderly man is the same guy who plays, I think, is it President Snow or whatever in the Hunger Games? That old guy?
I've not really watched the Hunger Games.
Well, okay. So, anyway, we really appreciated it just because, of course, we A, love Stephen King.
Yeah.
And B, Ryan Murphy, which we found out did it. And that's why it felt like spooky vibes, but also, again, it was just such a really good story. It was a well-done story.
It was really... So it's about a boy, and he basically spends time with an elderly, very wealthy man who lives alone.
John Harrigan.
He spends time with him, and eventually, they form this kind of friendship. And originally the kid, he's reading to John, Mr. Harrigan, and he ends up getting him an iPhone, actually.
Yes.
Gets him a phone, helps him with the phone. And after Mr. Harrigan passes, the kid gets the phone and he puts it in the casket with Mr. Harrigan because they used to text all the time. It's a very sweet relationship that they have.
Segue.
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland. That is the main President Snow for the Hunger Games.
And
he is Mr. Harrigan. Okay. So he is John Harrigan.
There you go.
I just needed to clarify that.
Yeah. So kid puts it in his coffin, buried underground, but then he starts getting texts.
From Mr. Harrigan.
And he texts back about a bad day at school where he gets bullied.
Well, he's not really quite sure if he's actually receiving these messages. He seems
just
a little
kind of
bit like
smashes.
Yeah, they're kind of like
and the phone could just be dying. Like he's like, it might be Dunskies. So he texts back one day about a really bad day he had because he used to tell Mr. Harrigan this. Well, then the kid gets fucked. Not the boy, but the bully gets fucked up. And all these things start happening.
Voicemails start coming in. And it's Mr. Harrigan.
It's
and
so
it's like,
spooky.
Oh, yeah, it's good. And of course, it starts out very harmless. This relationship is awesome. Like, he gives them these scratch tickets every year. And then eventually he wins. Like, they get big money. And that's fabulous. It's great. Yeah. He's thinking everything is all awesome, you know, and
he actually ends up leaving his fortune to the boy. It's a very compelling sort of story because Mr. Harrigan spirit or whatever is tied to the boy.
It is.
Because the boy can't stand up for himself and he needs to like, you know, be a go-getter. Mr. Harrigan was kind of trying to teach him that. So finally,
like, why are you spending your time with me? Like, I appreciate it. He's like, you're reading to me, but like, go do stuff. And he's like, no, like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Spend time with
and
you.
so when the boy finally kind of lets go of Mr. Harrigan and he stops texting and he gets a new phone and yada yada, and then, you know, he's free from that. It's a very
highly recommended. It's
a really lovely story, actually. I know it's like Stephen King, so it's horror, but it's, I don't know.
I felt more suspense and I felt more like thriller because you're not quite sure what's going to happen next, and then something else kind of happens and you're like, what is actually happening here? And you're thinking maybe it's somebody got a new phone number or like you're not quite sure, but the way that it progresses is like
it's a bit of a slow build, as most King things are, but very beautifully done.
Ryan Murphy nailed how to bring that short story into a full-fledged film. I can't wait to see the rest of them.
There's a bunch coming out.
Yeah, the Charlie... Was it Charlie? Am I saying Charlie because you said Charlie? It's the one that has, like, Matthew Lillard.
Yeah,
like, there's so many actors in it.
Life of Chuck.
Life of Chuck. See, we said Charlie and we were like, what the fuck
Charlie?
is Charlie?
Who the fuck? Well, because Chuck is short for Charlie.
It's Charles. Or is it Charlie?
Charlie Brown. Chuck.
Chuck. I think that's
Patty
just
calls
Peppy.
him Chuck.
Yeah, Peppermint, she just called him Chuck. She could. Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't actually think about that. But yeah, Chuck. Life of Chuck. There's a lot of big name actors in that. And I guarantee you it's going to be so awesome.
Good. So good.
Yeah, we're impressed. We're ready for that. But yeah, Ryan Murphy has an impressive lineup of movies and TV that, I mean, I was pretty impressed. I didn't realize that he had done Glee, and I didn't realize that he had done like 911, and there's like all these random ones that he's done. The Prom, Pray Away,
Circus of Books. I remember I started watching that documentary. I don't know why I didn't finish it. ADHD.
Yep, Running with
Eat,
Scissors.
Pray, Love.
Yes, Eat, Pray, Love.
Please.
Like you can actually see the transition between Ryan Murphy getting more and more psychotic. I think he's like, we'll start with the furries and Running with Scissors, and then we'll do Eat, Pray, Love and Glee, the 3D concert movie.
Quite an expansive repertoire.
Town that dreaded sundown. It's me. I would be there to feast on you on sundown. Circus of Books, Secret Love, The Boys in the Band, The Prom, Pray Away, and then we get Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Yeah. And it's kind of like all of a span from about 1999 to about 2000.
That's all his films. And then the TV shows have gone also 99 until present day.
Yeah, and we're talking Popular, Nip Tuck, Glee, American Horror Story, New Normal, Normal Heart, Scream Queens, American Crime Story, Feud, 911, Pose, A Politician, like 911, Lone Star. Hollywood, Ratched, Halston, and then, you know, Monster and The Watcher. That's where we're at now.
And American Horror Stories, which is even shorter form horror story type.
Yeah. But he's got like it's just pretty
impressive.
It's pretty impressive. We were only going on to see which one was our favorite American Horror Story, and then as soon as we saw that there was so much more,
there was just so much. Because I could talk. The problem is that we haven't seen all of the AHS or the same AHS. Like I watched 1984 and it had Romero in it, the serial killer. Yeah. I was disappointed by it. I really was not happy with any part of that. Also, Emma Roberts played like the sweet quote unquote virgin type stereotype. I was like, no, you can't cast her as that. She is queen bitch. Yes. Always.
It feels off.
It does.
And I don't mean to always say people need to be typecasted, but when you're in AHS,
it just doesn't feel right.
And then like, you're like,
she was Jill Roberts in Scream.
Yes.
4. I forgot how to count.
I know. I was like,
and she
counting your fingers.
Probably one of the best ghost faces, to be honest. She had the most full-fledged out plan, and she was the fucking craziest for sure.
She was not well.
No.
But she did fabulous.
Yeah.
So when you have her be this like it felt
demure,
typical.
fucking.
It felt typical. Like, of course she's small. Of course she's going to be this, like, whatever. And I don't like that. I like powerful women.
Yeah.
And I like when they're put into roles that are not typecasted and they're really out there and they fucking smash them.
Yeah, I
And
love
she
a
did
scary
fabulous.
woman.
It's why I like, the original ones. Like, I really do like Murder House, but I really liked Asylum. And then I liked Coven.
Yeah.
You're right.
Coven.
Got very good and then didn't.
Didn't.
It's like it lost its kind of momentum. And then I really liked Hotel. Just different. Slow burn all
Yeah.
the way through. No really big, like, it was just kind of, but it was really good. Cast was really well done. And, the stories are cool.
And I liked Roanoke.
And Roanoke. Yeah.
I know I watched Apocalypse, but for the life of me, can't remember a damn detail about it.
It's funny you say that because I'm like, did we watch Apocalypse? Or
I
at least
don't
we're watching
know.
at the same
We
time?
were
Because
watching.
I'm like,
I'm pretty sure we watched Roanoke. I
I know,
blazed through
right?
it, and you guys started it.
I'm pretty sure.
And I'm pretty sure I went on to Apocalypse, and I have no fucking
No
clue.
memory of this place.
No clue.
No
Not
memory
an
of this
idea.
place.
And then I watched 84, and I haven't watched anything past that. There was the double feature, NYC, and something else.
So I'm really interested. Anyone out there, I want you to tell us what your favorite AHS was, or your favorite thing that Ryan Murphy has done.
Yeah.
Because if there's one of those things with AHS, if there's something that you really liked, and I mean, maybe I haven't watched it, because for the most part, I kind of really, like, after Coven, I was hurt. I felt, and then Hotel, and I was like, nah, it's not really holding my attention. But if there's something that you liked of one of the other ones, let us know.
I was
I'll happily watch it.
surprised by Roanoke, because I was blazing through, because my friend Megan...
I'm pretty sure I've seen Roanoke.
Yeah, you must have. It's the one where it takes place in the past and the present.
Yes, I've seen it. I really did like it. It
liked it.
Still wouldn't be my favorite, but I liked it better than
was enjoyable.
Coven.
Yeah.
And I think it's right around there. Well, it's a little bit better than
Probably up there
Hotels
with
here.
Freak Show. I actually didn't mind Freak Show. I'm not going to say liked it, but I sure did. No, I did like it. I'm going to say I liked it. I liked it. I liked Freak Show.
You heard it here, folks. Jed liked Freak Show.
I like the finger blasting with the
Oh, the
crab hands at the Tupperware party.
Listen, it's iconic.
It is.
And Evan Peters
And
is
I liked
iconic.
the dandy.
And the dandy. And I mean, that's the thing, right? Is there's so many AHS out right now that I'm sure somebody else is
Paulson
like...
and Turk and Joint twin thing. That was cool. And
Yes.
Pepper.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I watched most of Freak Show, too.
Freak Show was quite enjoyable, I think.
I think I just stopped. I think we were watching it in Kelowna, and then we stopped because we
You
came
always have to
back.
find someone streaming. And I was watching these when I went to Japan, because fucking Netflix
Right.
Japan at the time was streaming AHS, and Netflix Canada wasn't. So every
know.
day I'd get home from like a long day in Japan, and I'd sit there on my phone watching AHS as fast as I fucking could. I don't think I slept that
back
trip
there, you're like,
all
"Yeah."
day, and into the night I was like Japanning it up, and then nighttime I was like, yeah, give me AHS. I had to finish before I got back home.
I mean, that's fair because Canada wasn't streaming it.
No.
So in Kelowna, Kit's sister had the streaming services that were kind of from other places.
Fancy.
Yes. So of course she was streaming those things, and so we watched them
Yeah.
when we were there because we were like, we have to, and we can't see them at home. So I'm pretty sure we watched Roanoke, and I'm pretty sure we watched Freak Show. I mean, Kit will probably say they watched it with their sister, and there's a chance that I was just watching it downstairs when
Yeah.
I woke up or whatever that
Who
looks
knows?
like. But yeah,
It was
it's done.
viewed at some point. Mystery about Apocalypse. I'll look it up after the podcast. I'll be like, yeah, I did, or oh no, I got no clue.
Sure, me too. And then see you next week.
Brain is full of rocks.
We're working hard. I mean, unfortunately, my
overtime.
grandfather had just passed away, and so we've been doing a lot of recon and getting ready for a celebration of life, and so there's been a lot of stuff going on.
I'm surprised with how much we've continued to get done because in life,
Life keeps going,
life finds a way.
and life finds.
But still, like, it's easy to fall
It
into.
is, and I was getting close to that, and I have really good friends, and I'm very grateful for all of you. But Jed, Kit was not home. They went to Vancouver to look after their sister and their brother-in-law, so Jed actually looked after me, which I'm very grateful for because we both don't like anyone touching us.
Nope. Don't touch us. Don't talk to us.
No.
Don't acknowledge the feelings. Let's go buy Furbies. Do you want to go to IKEA?
'Cause we can do that. Oh yeah, that one's still asleep and its eyes are
I
wide
know.
open. It's
Kit's
pretty
going to
terrifying.
dismantle it, I think.
Yeah, skin him alive.
Or base skinnamarink. Skinnamarink-doo.
I love you. But yes, so it's been busy. It's been crazy. Sorry we didn't get to stream this week. That was part of the problem.
The
We had
vertigo.
vertigo and obviously just emotional trauma. But we will be starting to get on a regular scheduled program. We really do appreciate everybody who joined us because it was fabulous.
It was really fun.
So much fun. And the more we do, the more I can always live stream on TikTok while Jed is live streaming on Twitch. And then that way you can get it from both ends.
And we can also live stream Baldur's Gate. We started a multiplayer, so we do that. We got DBD. I start my new job soon, 27th, so we'll have to see what our schedule looks like then, but we'll keep bringing the hits.
Hell yeah. And we've had a lot of you guys reach out to us saying it was fun and you really enjoyed it, and so we'll kind of keep pushing on that because we love it too. And it keeps us...
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. Like the chive. Whatever. That was
I
a
could
weird
scalp
time.
myself right now.
I'm going to. I think I'm going to absolutely just destroy. I have this whole suit on.
I know. I don't want to know what it feels like, smells like, tastes like.
Wet, darling. It's wet.
It's like pulling the neck at, and it was making like...
Here, I can give some ASMR.
Okay, get
you
it
ready
ready
for this?
Yeah.
It's so gross.
It's gross.
So gross.
And like,
oh.
it's kind of cold down here, but we were hooting and hollering upstairs. Whoa, we were giving her...
We were laughing
We
our
created
asses
some
off.
monstrosities.
Yes. So take a peek on both Lucifer Duck, my TikTok, and then on Jed Soda Pop TikTok. Because we'll be giving you, again, from both ends. You'll get
You
all
won't
this
know.
content.
You won't know where it's coming from. It's coming from everywhere.
Is it there?
You got
Is it
Gala
there?
Waterdeep. You got Astarion. Like, it's coming from all directions.
Yes, darling. I'm a Starian of Balls Deep Gate. You heard it here. And I mean what I say.
Well, send me back to Waterdeep. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going back to Waterdeep. You Baldurians are gross.
Oh, we must hang with different crowds.
Oh, yeah, you think?
Different circles.
I go out in the sun.
I don't. I do now. I have a tadpole in my brain, so it's fine. Maybe it's like I'm ascended. That's what we've chosen, because I am definitely evil. I am not.
Fuck, am I not the
nicest
absolute
Starian.
yet? Where's my crown?
Of thorns. You just make yourself look more like Jesus. It's fine.
I'm very Jesus.
I am very,
very
Jesus. R.I.P. Thank you for joining us this week, everybody. And again, thank you for checking into all of our socials and following us and doing all that fun stuff. We really appreciate it. And we have a lot of fun when
Keeps
you
us
communicate.
motivated, too.
When you communicate with us, we enjoy it. We do like talking to people, and we like adding things that people like to talk about.
Yes.
And we'll do a lot of that next week.
Yes.
So thanks so much. Bye.
Goodbye.